our audience, I'll pop back in and have that exchange with you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're looking forward to it. Hello, guys. Nice to be a part of this event. It was a full week for you, so I'll try to keep it short, leave time for a question, but leave it on a positive note. Maybe something that you can take with you on a weekend and really think about. I think my presentation should have been called the power of collaboration. And the whole idea behind what we do as a foundation and what I'm going to talk about today is basically about collaboration. The collaboration that looks much more in a future than what our current maybe HR plans are or what our current hiring plans are. So the thing that we are basically trying to solve, and the case that I'm going to present on this closing note, is basically about how can we think about the future generations, how can we think about the talent pipeline coming into the industry, and how can we think about the brain drain that is a problem in Serbia, how can we think about raising the quality bar for talent entering the industry, and really helping us still hire people in 5 or 10 years time. So basically, this is what we were set out to do. So as a foundation, basically what we said is that the education and the future of our children right here in Serbia is the responsibility of us all. And it's important for the industry, I think, that to understand this in terms of that yes, we do have expectations from the educational sector, but they are struggling all across the globe to grasp all the changes that are happening all over the industry, and are really affecting the way we are teaching the children now. So in order to help them, basically what I think we all need to understand is that they shouldn't be alone in this. And we shouldn't expect just from teachers and the school system to reach out to us and to have a full understanding of what we are doing, and then to have a great offer on how can we collaborate and then drive that collaboration forward. What we basically think is that we should be the ones who are doing exactly that. So we formed this sentence to actually include everyone, because it's our children at the end. It's their future in our country, and it's about us understanding what our role should be in creating that the environment for them to basically prosper and be the leaders of tomorrow. And the second thing to that is that we need to cover basically in our terms whole country. So we are thinking about how can we make this collaboration work, how can we align the interest of the industry, connect them with organizations that are working in the education, and then align them on the shared goal of creating the best possible education for children all across Serbia. So as a case study, I'm going to present you how we basically started to do that. So what we think it's important is just not to try to figure everything on your own, but to connect and create alliance that can basically drive that mission forward. In Serbia, we did it by creating the coordination body, let's call it like that, Alliance for Better Education, which apart from us has a Digital Serbia initiative, the speakers that you heard before me, but also 2 major organizations that are working on STEM fields and on entrepreneurship field. And together with these organizations, we basically created a network of more than 300 secondary schools and 1,500 teachers network. Together, again, with all the partners, we have a broad network of partners and broad experience in different STEM education and entrepreneurship. And we are basically trying to align all of these networks that already exist, all of these communities and the industry, to work together basically towards the common goal. of creating a better future basically for our school system. And this is the core thing that we need to think. How can we drive the development of education in terms of STEM fields, in terms of career understanding and information from the perspective of the industry? We can do that only through collaborating. And what we managed to do basically in only 1 year is to create concepts for developing labs in high schools and developing platforms that can drive from one side programs, but from the other side connection and collaboration in the future. And this is, I think, the key. When you think about the high schools today, they are the time in a person's life that basically makes maybe the most significant impact on their future development. It's the time where they are basically preparing for either going forward to universities or preparing for industry. Either way, they are basically building their skill sets and building their knowledge so they can really get one step closer to their job or that they can imagine, or the future that they imagine. And I think it's the crucial time for us to help them in that period specifically. The idea is basically to create all of these programs and then reach out to schools and offer basically, and create this offer for them. So the idea is to create the programs and tools for teachers, to create programs and projects for students, and connect them basically nationally and locally. The way that we are doing this is through creation of STEAM school labs in each of the school. So if you imagine the future now, and this is the problem that we have in Serbia, and I think it's global phenomena, it's basically that you don't have many more people interested in being a teacher, which is unfortunate for many societies. And it's in the closer future, I think that bigger investment and bigger involvement of the industry is going to be needed. We feel that, especially in vocational studies, most of these schools can become literally training centers that are thriving in true collaboration between schools and the local communities and the local and national industry. And we should find a way how to make these collaborations happen. We see that in these STEAM school labs, basically as open spaces for collaboration that are on one hand providing the space and equipment and support for teachers to use this in their formal programs, but also a way of creating a space for non-formal education that could be driven from the industry itself in collaboration with schools. And I think this is something that could prove that is proving to be really successful, even on the case of Serbia, which is really a small country. And that could allow us to basically set really ambitious goals of creating 50 of these STEAM school labs in just a few years. We called our STEAMy labs Makers Labs, and it stand for STEAM. Now, many of you are connected with these fields in any other way, but like it's important to understand that these fields and learning and education for children should cover all these fields in allowing them to create innovation, to create entrepreneurship, to understand these concepts early on, so they can understand better their future and what they are aiming to become, and then make better choices in signing up for university. The overall goal is basically to create a better output and the quality student experience and quality talent pipeline for the whole industry. In Serbia, we managed to make 4 in just 4 months. And basically, this is something that from next year we're going to open 10, and this is going to be dynamic that we're going to follow in every next year. So basically, we plan to open at least 100 of these labs in the next in less than 10 years. So this is something that we must set a huge goal in order to align all of these organizations around, and then help them really be productive in reaching this shared vision, basically. So just a quick snippet, I think, from like how that could look like. And this is going to start. Not. Yeah, so what basically the first suggestion for everyone is to think outside of their organization, to think about the future, to think about how we can basically create the environment that can allow our kids to reach their full potential. It's totally depending on us. And today in education, we see a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of time wasted, energy wasted, even money wasted, because people, organizations, and their interests are much more short-term. All organizations are thinking, how can we hire in the next 6 months or next 1 year? Maybe some organizations have longer-term plans, but to really create the best possible future and then education for all of these kids, we need to align our interest and then collaborate to create basically the future for them. So the whole idea is through this collaboration, especially through the industry, which is probably the most organized part of society, we can involve everyone else, help them with the knowledge that already exists in any basically company, to make a strategic plan that can really drive the education forward, and then build on what already exists to reach those goals. The other thing is important for any organizations to consider is basically thinking about how can you create these bridges and transfer of knowledge from your industry and your company, maybe specifically, to the educational system. Again, maybe I'm repeating ourselves, but I think it's important as an idea just to consider. We cannot expect, or we shouldn't expect, for the educational system to reach out to us. That would be the perfect or ideal situation or ideal world that maybe doesn't exist. We should think, how can we make that connection and we speed the process that they're having problems with. So the idea behind that is to create knowledge that is, or to make knowledge accessible to all. It's really important to understand that we, as any industry, have the current and most modern knowledge in our fields, and that we are responsible to create the path for the educational system to transfer that knowledge basically to them. So we should be the ones who are reaching out and supporting our schools and our universities with our knowledge. And we can do that in different ways. Today, unfortunately, the problem is that you have to sit in your car, for example, and bring your knowledge physically to a classroom or to a university, deliver that knowledge and go back to your office, and then hope that they will make best use of your time spent there. I think it's important now to utilize what we had now inherited from the COVID, and all of this, like this way of doing the conference is the same way we can do mentorship, is the same way we can do learning, we can teach children in universities, in schools, everywhere, wherever they exist. We just need to create this digital structure that allow us to transfer this knowledge much faster to any place in Serbia or in the world. And this is how we try to do is basically, because we are part of the gaming industry, we created Game Lab, which is Serbian for Game Lab. It's basically a platform where all of this knowledge that we have from basic level to advanced level, we now try to put into different courses, into different materials, and allow it and open it for the world, basically, and create this platform for learning that is driven by us, the guys who really know who have this knowledge. And it's about us creating this knowledge accessible for everyone and allowing everyone to learn. So this is, I think, the basis for the growth of any, I think, societies, making knowledge accessible and inclusive for everyone. If we manage to do this, each of us from our own industries, together, tomorrow it will be only about equipment. It will be only about having this access through our laptops or to our computers, wherever you are basically in the country, so you can reach in and get in touch, and you can connect with these platforms and learn. So I think it should be our responsibility to really drive this this knowledge development. So with our platform, we, like, in just few weeks we had like more than 2,000 unique visitors, and more than 3,500 lessons are finished. So we had 6 areas that we covered basically with this. And then what we try to test, and what already proves to have results, is basically using then these tools, these platforms that we created in schools, basically through creation of programs that will utilize these tools and utilize this knowledge, and create a new value directly in a school. Why is this important? Is because, like, today maybe we can organize, if you're speaking directly from the perspective of the gaming industry, you can maybe have like one person talk about the basics of gaming industry or game development or whatever, but it's really difficult to imagine that one person from whatever company he or she is, to deliver like 10 or 100 of these lessons like during 1 year. It would be impossible to imagine. So we need to have that knowledge on a platform created to be consumed basically whenever you can. So this is the logic behind creating the platform and capturing all of that knowledge in one place. People, like, whether those are kids or grown-ups, they should be allowed to basically consume that knowledge whenever they can. And then we can use this 1 hour or few hours of these professionals to do specific workshops and to really utilize their time in the best possible way. And this way, we are raising the quality of education in much bigger way. And this is why we created this Game Lab program. And in just 6 months, we had 160 students who are now accessing these programs in their own schools. And schools are really open for it. It could be a really awesome place for collaboration. It, again, creates the teachers network and allows them to understand better the industry, allows them to understand better how to work with kids in the future, and basically support them in any of the STEAM fields. So this is just an example of how can we make the knowledge more accessible to all. If you have any question, I would be glad to answer it.
Right, fantastic. Listen, we're looking at the questions now. I don't think any questions have come through just yet. There might be a few as we're kind of wrapping up now. But listen, thank you so much for sharing those insights. And it's given us, again, it's all about maybe shaking up our mindsets and just thinking outside of the box a little bit on in terms of the future education and young people as well, which maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something that's lacking a little bit within the industry.
It's our kids. I mean, these are the kids of our colleagues. These are the kids of our neighbors. They're all like, we should be involved in creating a better future for them. But thinking like from the perspective of HRs, it's thinking about the next 5 or 10 years. Your company will still be hiring. Then it's allowing you the best possible option to develop this talent much earlier and to create this pipeline for the whole industry. So together, basically, creating the best possible environment.
Fantastic, wonderful. Listen, we are coming towards the end now. We still have a few more minutes. No, not many questions have come through. But listen, Miloš, can you help us out? Maybe take us a little bit